Hi Pisces, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your mid-April 2025 love reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread. And the way it works is a look at the past, present, future energies between you and the main love interest. Once we get the rolled out, we'll pull some oracle cards as well for some additional insight. And that's where the bridge and the gap dynamic comes into play. As far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Romantic Tarot. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel that's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the King of Coins. So this is Taurus energy here, and this could just be saying that ultimately you might have felt confident when you were talking to this person. You know, you might have seen the potential for the two of you to have a long-standing commitment as well, but I feel like ultimately you just might have felt very comfortable and confident when you were talking to this person. Past energy on their side, we have the Queen of Cups. So this is Cancer energy here, and it could just be saying that on the one hand, they might have normally maybe they're a little bit more reserved and shy, but I feel like the way you radiated confidence toward them in your communication might have actually helped them come out of their shells a little bit as well. So we see the way that they're holding that mask in their hand, but they've pulled it away, right? So yeah, it could just be one of those things because you having the confidence and openness that you did seemed to help them embody that same energy. All right, present energy on your side, we have the Ace of Cups. So yeah, looks like this is ultimately saying that now your feelings for this person might be growing as far as the emotional side of things go. Now, with the aces, there's no guarantee that there's actually an expression of those feelings, but at the very least, you might really be feeling them kind of heavily right now. Present energy on their side, we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is Taurus energy here, and to me, this looks like it's basically saying that this is someone who very much likes to keep things balanced in their connections, you know. So that could be where we see her opening up in the past, right? So like I said, it looks like you might have been coming forward with the confident energy, which helped them embrace that energy, right? If you were to come forward and express feelings, it looks like they would reciprocate those, right? But that's what I'm getting with this artwork here. And then also this could just be saying that maybe they are just very innocent as far as how they approach things, right? Maybe they're not necessarily materialistic, right? Maybe they're very artistic and just go with the flow. But yeah, they just might enjoy your company versus the more material side of things too. All right, future energy on your side, we have the Nine of Cups. So this is actually a Pisces card here, and this could ultimately just be saying that you might decide to put more focus on your own goals in the future, with the realization that that could lead to happiness, right? So I feel like this is saying, for example, maybe you're not going to put a whole lot of weight on whether or not this connection gets off the ground the way you're hoping it would, right? I feel like this is saying that ultimately you might just shift more to your own goals and focus on that for a bit. All right, and future energy on their side, we have Justice. So yeah, so this is on one hand similar to the Six of Pentacles energy as far as it points to a balance of things, but this is to an even higher extreme as far as it's the major arcana side of things. So yeah, I feel like this is saying that ultimately they're really going to be focused on that. So something to keep in mind there, right? Because what that could be saying in this context, right? Like I said, if in the future you were to put more focus toward your own goals, then it could just be saying that ultimately this person would be comfortable with that as well, right? Like, okay, it looks like Pisces is doing their own thing for a little bit, so no big deal. I'll do my own thing as well, right? So as long as your intentions are genuine in saying, oh, I'm going to put more focus on my own thing for a bit, then that's a healthy dynamic. But if this was more of you doing that, hoping that that would cause them to step up, right, it might not necessarily go the way that you were hoping in that regard. All right. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Nine of Arrows. So yeah, this is an energy of usually anxiety, losing sleep, right? And if we look at the artwork here, what always stands out in this deck in particular is we see what looks like an angelic figure. It looks like they're extending one of those arrows to this person. And arrows would represent communication in this regard. And then we see the other 8 arrows are all pointed toward the cards on the side. So yeah, it could just be saying that ultimately you might get nudges, signs, synchronicities from the universe to actually come forward and communicate what's on your mind to this person. So like I said, what it could be for some of you is maybe you have these feelings, right? But you're like, I'm not sure if I'm ready to express them yet, and maybe you're hoping to see them be more expressive around their feelings, right? So you could say, well, let me pull back for a little bit and see what happens. And like I said, in this case, it looks like this person would be oblivious to that approach and just think that, oh, okay, cool, Pisces is doing their own thing, I'll do my own thing too. Thinking that they're actually doing the right thing in that regard, right? Like, oh, I don't want to chase after Pisces and make them feel overwhelmed. You know, they want to do their own thing, that's cool. So if that's not what your true intention is, right? If you did that more so hoping for them to step up, it could just be saying, well, you might just need to be more clear about what your feelings and intentions are in this situation. And bottom of the deck on their side, we have the King of Cups. So this is Scorpio energy here. So yeah, I mean, if that's the case, you know, if we just think of this archetype, right, it could just ultimately be saying that they're the type who would like to know where the other person stands first before they fully open up. So it could just be a stalemate thing, you know, if you're like, oh, well, I'm hoping for them to express their feelings and they're waiting to see how you feel before they open up too much, then you might end up spinning your wheels for a little bit. But we'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix. First, we'll see what we get from the Messages Love Oracle card deck. I'm just going to give this a few shuffles. All right, and what I'll do is I'll just cut the deck and pull a card. All right, and next I'll do the same thing with the Wisdom Oracle deck. So I'm going to give this a few shuffles now. Oh, got one that flipped there, but I'll still do a couple more shuffles and we'll still cut the deck and pull them. Okay, so just put this down, and yeah, so I'll take this card here, get this out of the way, and we'll take a look at the Messages of Love card first. All right, we have Time Apart. It says some distance will help bring clarity. So interesting message there, right? Because like I said, it looks like in the future you might actually decide to, oh, you know what, let me do my own thing. So that in the context of this message here could just be saying that, yeah, for some of you, maybe it ultimately was an innocent thing on your part to say, oh, you know what, let me just focus on my own thing for a bit. And then in doing so, you might actually realize, like, okay, did I mess things up, right? And then you might start to feel like, okay, where'd this person go, right? Not expecting them to fall off the face of the earth, but it could just be one of those things where, again, like I said, they might think they're doing the right thing. If you withdraw, like, oh, all right, let me let Pisces do their own thing, and then, but you might freak out and think, oh, what happened? So, something to think about with that. But yeah, and then we have go to distance. There's the artwork. The number is 47. We'll read that message, and then we'll take a look at that other card as well. All right, the relationship message says you either are in or are calling in a harmonious relationship that can stand the test of time. For better or worse, as you ride the ups and downs and even strain, break yourself in a remade new growth, you are being redeemed by the power of regeneration. Harmony does not mean there will never be a wrong note played, but that the relationship is marked by endurance and dedication to overall unity. A new song can be written, an instrument can be tuned, and the symphony of love will play on. Listen with your heart. Isn't it magnificent? So yeah, definitely a positive message there. And like I said, it could just be one of those things where maybe when you do withdraw and you notice silence from this person, you might start to freak out a little bit. But like I said, it seems like their intention behind that was actually innocent, thinking that they were doing the right thing rather than, no, I don't want to overwhelm Pisces if they're doing their own thing, you know. And we have higher power. There we go. There's the artwork. The number is 4, and we'll see what this has to say. All right, the relationship message says it's time to address how much effort you give to your relationship with your higher power, called God, Goddess, Spirit, or any other name that is sacred and holy. Recognize that your partnership with Spirit is your number one priority. The appearance of this card also indicates that there is a deep spiritual bond between you and another person who is essential to your growth and evolution. Tend to your spiritual connections and remain aware of your true nature. So definitely an interesting message there, especially higher power, making me think of, like we said, that angelic figure in the Nine of Arrows as well. So yeah, I feel like this is saying also, if you are starting to freak out, right, for one, have faith in your higher power, but also look for signs and synchronicities that might give you guidance on how to address the situation as well. So hopefully that resonates with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.